here's a prime example of what happened to me lately. Is I went over and I went over to five cities, and I tried this slow pour lager that they had on draft. Man, if I could have just reached across the bar and hugged Kurt Johnson and Scott, I would have. But
that's another show.
Yeah, that was a different show altogether. But yeah, I mean,
because they offer the beer two ways, and one is a slow pour.
One is a slow pour.
I'd never seen that before. I had it last weekend, and it was really good.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but that to me, when I taste one of these guys' beers, and it just blows my mind, that's what I want to do. If I'm gonna hug you, you effing did something like just blew my mind right.
Right. But otherwise, it's just a lot of good job, and it's not like what I'm asking is, are there moments where you want to grab somebody and hug them? And clearly there are.
Yeah, obviously, with that particular beer, and
right.
Even just now, like when we were down at Wake, I asked him for the sample of the Masa puppets. Took one sip, and I was like, "That's delicious."
Right.
Pardon my French.
No, it's fun. We
love Nug.
Yep. Love Nug.
Yeah, this is terrific.
It's a great throwback IPA.
Yeah.
It's actually
everything I missed.
IPA.
Everything I missed about IPAs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
IPA.
But you don't make beers forever. Like that's still
It's
kind of
everything that we do pretty much is a one-off. There's things that we've kind of, because of I would say our customer base, our clientele, we've made a little more than once, or like we talk about, I mean, you constantly strive to make something better. So how can I continue to paint my Picasso, make my masterpiece? And you're always striving for that. I mean, I think you can always make it better, but a lot of it is education. So part of it even is, besides brewing, I mean, you're talking to these guys, and maybe they do something a little different. They've had that experience already that you haven't had. I'm the oldest, so I've probably had the most experiences or ups.
Yeah. And just so I'm giving credit due where it's due, and I said Kurt Johnson is also part of the head brewer for 5 Cities, but it was Scott Welch that actually designed that beer. So props to him for that one.
Well, this IPA that we're all falling in love with, are you drinking it as brewers and thinking, okay, this is excellent, and you're impressed by how it takes you back to a simpler time before IPAs became something else?
Something that they're not?
Are you thinking like, are the wheels turning in your heads, all of you, going, maybe we do something similar to this, but a little bit different? Does that happen?
Like
we've all done.
We all still
that
push
IPA.
this
Like,
envelope. This is like a brewer's, like, we will die on this hill. Like, you are not taking IPA away from us. Like,
I can't believe no one drinks pale ale anymore. I mean,
No, we make a pale ale and it sells at half the rate of even this style of IPA or a quarter the rate of a hazy. So we just don't make as many pale ales. We kind of let the people, if they want sours and fruit and hazy IPAs, and we make that.
and that's always trying to find that happy balance where it's like, this is still my record. Like, these are my singles, but like, I got to give the crowd what they want a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still want to be as killer as it can be.
And for us, it's very much a dumbbell effect. I always say we got to have at least 2 beers on that aren't going to sell super fast. A Hellas lager, a Mexican lager, an amber ale. Just something for the people who like beer that tastes like beer. And then you got to have whatever the public wants that you're just going to turn and burn and come out with a new one in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah, well, like with kind of what you do here, where it's always ever rotating, we started doing that the exact same way.
We called it nothing sacred.
Isn't it fun though? It's refreshing.
The nice thing is when you get enough people to tell you that they're pissed off because Hand of Doom's not on anymore, even in dead of heat of summer.
Say that?
That's a great thing. Like,
Okay, you can say.
Oh, yeah, you can
that's
say
great. Like,
You can say
so
pissed
at
off.
some point,
All right.
like this IPA, you're probably going to make that again.
But I'm going to go reverse on you here, and this is going to seem really
That's
weird,
all
but I still have requests no matter what. The most requested beer ever, and it's just it's still Dirty Blonde.
Right.
And it's something that when we talk about this, I would never necessarily drink. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, but it's still strange to me that I still have people that would say something like that. Or
Do you ever find that maybe they've just they were at a certain point
Yeah,
in time,
unique
though, and
time
that if they
frame.
revisited it, they would be like, "This just isn't the same." And it's like, yeah, life 10 years ago was way different. Okay, bro.
When I
same
drank
thing, I feel
Newcastle 20 years ago
Right.
versus now.
I used to think that was the one and the only. And
You
then
guys
come to
may
find
still
out,
have beers from 20 years ago that you're like, I don't know, this is the year.
I do still have a couple bottles of the first beer we ever brewed, or I ever brewed.
Man,
And
I'm
it
surprised
is
they haven't exploded.
so terrible. Oh, a couple of them did. It tastes like wet cardboard, hot pennies, over-carbonated. But then
homebrews?
I always tell people, I was like, practice makes perfect. And now I just open the bottle and just like, cool, there it is, and I dump it. Like before, I would force myself to take a drink just to remember where it started and where it is. But anymore, I'm just like,
I've
I've got like a couple more years.
I've
It's
never
terrible.
considered what you're saying is brilliant, because there are movies that you love,
Right.
and then you revisit them, and you think that's not a good movie. It's
Special
the same with
effects
beer.
Right.
Are
Even
great, because in that time you're like, oh my gosh, that was incredible. Now you're
But
like,
also just-
those were puppets.
Memories.
Yeah, just memories in
Yeah, they're
general,
just
like
memories,
the
like,
time frame, what was
You could have
happening
been
in your
sitting
life.
at the bar and vibing with a bunch of people, and it was just a great night that popped off, and you went off and did all these other crazy fun things, and you're like, that's my place, that's the
my
beer,
beer, yeah.
forever in time, this is the best. And it's like,
But I might be part of the problem, though, because I would be pissed off if I couldn't get Hand of Doom. Like that's my.
You're not the only one, which is great. I mean, so that's why you see it.
It's
as
a
much as you
good
can.
problem to have.
thankfully it's one of our favorite beers, so
Yeah.
we'll always get it.
It's a good
When
problem.
you say so.
When we say it's on the board,
When we say so.
But then, like, when I see DeSoto is on, I go nuts because I go, oh God, thank you, DeSoto is here. I love that one. It's a
great lager.
It really is. It's exceptional. When you have something and you love it, maybe the secret is if you do it at least a couple times a year, then it doesn't become, The Last Starfighter, which I saw in the theaters and thought was terrific. Doesn't really hold up.
No?
yeah, no, that's garbage.
Right.
Is that the name of our last collab, our next collab? Last
The Last Starfighter?
That's not bad.
We'll just do Dirty Blonde as Last Starfighter.
We're coming up here and brewing like
Dirty Blonde.
ton of it. Oh,
That would be
a lot of it.
That's the
We're
name.
going to drink a lot that day, I can tell.